What's up, guys? It's Will. This video is going to be super valuable. Some of you guys have been following me for years. Some of you guys, this is your first time ever seeing me. I'm going to talk about my transformation of how I went from a scrawny, skinny kid growing up, one of the smallest in my class, always one of the smallest on my team, working out 3 years consistently, and still being one of the smallest in my class and one of the smallest on my team, to being an unofficial world record holder, packing on muscle, being in the best shape of my life, then entering a traveling sales job where I was working 50 to 80 hours a week, starting to lose my progress because I didn't have the same amount of time and I didn't have the same resources, to finding the method to get in even better shape than I was before with those circumstances. Now, this isn't going to be a dopamine release video with a bunch of edits and a bunch of music playing in the background and cuts. This is a strict value video. So if you're ready to change your life, get your notepad out, get your pencil out or pen, write all this stuff down, because this is going to be a life changer. And if you're not able to sit down for 30 minutes and watch this video, you're probably not ready to make that change anyway. All right, I'm going to break down how I got into the best shape of my life while working 50 to 80 hour work weeks. And these were not just regular work weeks. I was a traveling sales rep. So I wasn't just working these crazy hours, but I had an unpredictable schedule, and I wouldn't get my schedule either the night before or the day of. So I wasn't able to plan out my day because I was getting it in the spur of the moment. So I had a crazy schedule with crazy hours, waking up early, getting home late, and not being in the same places every single day, but still was able to get into the best shape of my life. Not to make just progress, but to get into the best shape of my life with these circumstances. And it didn't start off like this. I'll tell you how I started and how I even got into shape and how I started this whole fitness journey right here. So growing up, I was a scrawny kid. I was a small kid. I was always one of the smallest in my class or on my team. I grew up active. I grew up in sports, and this just made it natural for me to want to move. It feels weird now if I even try to stop working out because I feel like it's been ingrained inside of me. But I was always one of the hardest working on the team. It took me a few years before I would really get good at any sport, it seemed like. But as soon as I got good, I became great at whatever I was doing, and it would just snap. But that's besides the point. I was just always naturally pretty small. And it was the same thing for working out too, and building muscle, getting bigger, putting on strength, changing my physique. For 3 years, I was consistent. And this picture on the left isn't a before picture. This was me 2-3 years into working out consistently. And yeah, sure, I'm, not super old in this picture, but the muscle building process isn't much different at that age. So I should have put on 20, 30, 40 pounds of muscle at that time or whatever. And I was still super small. I was working out consistently, working super hard, so dedicated. And I just didn't know what I was doing, but I had so much hard work. And I was like, maybe I don't have the genetics, maybe I don't have this or that. High school comes around. I start lifting weights, and I start getting phenomenal results. Finally, the work I'm putting in, I was doing hundreds of reps of push-ups and calisthenics, and that wasn't going to give me the kind of results I wanted. As soon as I started lifting weights, that same work ethic that I applied to sports, that I applied to the calisthenics, hundreds, thousands of sit-ups, always trying to beat what I did before. I was like, I just want to beat what I did previously in the gym. If I did 135 for 5 reps, I want to do 6 next time. If I did it for 6, I want to do 7 the next time. And I saw this rate of progress was so fast, even faster than sports, and it was tangible. I became addicted, and I started working, and I just got to the point to where I almost got a world record my first year lifting for my age and weight. I was 5-10 pounds off of the record. And whenever that happened, I'm like, I always wanted to be the best in the world at something, or a professional athlete or something like that. And I was like, I'm progressing super fast. I don't have to rely on anybody else. And I'm good at this. I'm dedicating my life to this. So I would watch YouTube videos for hours in school, at home. I would study this more than school. I was like, this is what I want to do. I don't care, no matter what, I have to get it done. And if I wasn't studying, working out, I was working out or eating something to further push my goal along, being the greatest at my size, the greatest at my weight. But I get into college, don't really know what I want to do. Eventually get out, and I get my first real job. My friend refers me somehow. I get the sales job, company car, everything. And I'm like, I don't even know how I got here. This is crazy. But I saw the potential for earning, and I dedicated everything I had to it, listening to sales audios in the car, all that sort of stuff. It was just dedicated to this. And my schedule was crazy, 50 to 80-hour work weeks, like I said, traveling. So I was like, how do I get to the gym? How do I get here? And I don't have as much time to work out. Before, like I was telling you, in high school, my whole life was literally dedicated to the gym, to eating, to recovery. And now I only have 30 minutes, maybe 60 minutes this day, 10 minutes the next day. I don't know. Do I have access to the gym even this day? The cards were stacked against me, and I was still trying to find ways to train super hard and get the progress, but I slowly started to lose my progress. And this was super frustrating for me because I worked years to get up to that point, and I was still working hard. Now, who is this video for? If you're looking to shred fat, increase muscle tone, improve your posture without requiring extreme time commitments, this is for you. Because if you're sitting at a desk or in a car all day, your shoulders can start hurting. Your lower back gets tight. It's not as flexible. It starts to hurt. I've been there, and I've gotten out of there. I've actually been in that situation with a herniated disc, and at times it felt hopeless. If you're wanting to build unshakable confidence in your physical appearance and boost your energy levels and mental clarity, this is for you. If you're traveling all the time, you're on the go, you're getting Jack in the Box, you're getting this fast food, this, that, the other, just trying to get some food on the go, and you're like, man, it's hard to get something healthy, your mental clarity goes down. Your energy levels go down. And you start to see over time, you get more flabbier, you get softer, less confidence, more pain. You're having that brain fog, and your energy levels are crashed, especially if on top of that you aren't sleeping right. Now, this is for somebody if you're grinding in the gym and eating clean, or if you have before, but you didn't see the results you wanted. This is for you. There's a reason why that is, and there's certain principles that you don't even have to do these things, and you're going to get crazy results. I made all these mistakes before. This is if you're prepared to take full ownership over your health and develop yourself into the best version of yourself possible. This is for you. If you're in a situation right now to where you're just accepting, you know what, I got to make money for myself, for my family, for other people, my health, I'm not going to prioritize it. I got to pay the bills. I'm not in the worst shape possible. I look better than Tony or Sam or, it's not that bad. Or you're just accepting your situation. This isn't for you. This is for somebody who's ready to take full ownership over their life, over their health, and dedicate themselves to be the best version of themselves possible. Now, who's this video not for? If you're expecting an overnight change, this isn't for you. Fitness or anything good in life takes time. It's about planting seeds, watering those seeds, and over time you're going to build something beautiful. You're going to slowly change your health. You're going to slowly change the way you look. If you're just expecting overnight results, this isn't for you. You have to be dedicated to yourself and to the process for this to work. If you're okay with eating whatever you want and just blaming your circumstances and feeling and looking like ass just so you can enjoy those quick dopamine rushes from food or the comfort in your car or the comfort of getting home and just kicking your feet up instead of just putting that extra effort in, and you're fine with that, this isn't for you. If you're not willing to change your habits to be a better version of yourself, this isn't for you. If you don't want to change your habits, if you want to keep them the same, if you want the goal but you're not willing to change the habits, this video is not for you. If you don't believe you're meant for more and aren't willing to work for it, this isn't for you. Like I was saying earlier, if you want the goal but you aren't willing to work for it, if you aren't willing to make those changes and change not just your habits but eventually your identity, this video isn't for you, and you can click off right now. Now, here's the truth, guys. You don't need to be in the gym 5, 6, 7 days a week for 2-hour sessions to pack on muscle. You only need 1 to 3 hours a week. Now, whenever I went from having all the time in the world to train, I was doing an hour and a half, 2-hour training sessions continuously. And this is because I wasn't training in the most efficient way possible, and I didn't know that. I thought I had to train in this way to get the best results. But the truth is, you don't. You can shred body fat, boost energy levels, improve mental clarity while traveling, working at a desk or in a car, moving around a lot, and without sacrificing your career, your social life, and your time with family. And you don't need any more than 3 hours a week in the gym to maximize muscle growth. Not even to put it on, but to maximize it. But don't worry, guys. I'm not going to let this myth happen to you, that there's no such thing as I'm too busy or there's too little time to be fit and healthy, right? When you only need 1 to 3 hours a week in the gym. And that allows you to be flexible in your life. Having a diet that allows you to be flexible. Just like me, I was on the go, struggling to find a diet that allowed me to feel those high energy levels, to shred that body fat, to continue to pack on the muscle, to have high energy levels, mental clarity, not have that brain fog. You can do that. Just 1 to 3 hours a week that you dedicate to yourself. And if you want that person to be you, I'm going to show you exactly how to pack on muscle while burning stubborn belly fat, boosting your energy levels and your mental clarity, improving your posture, looking and feeling better, in clothes and out of clothes, and building lifelong self-improving habits and an identity change. And in case you don't know me, here's a brief backstory about how I got here. I told you earlier, skinny guy growing up. After 3 years of consistent workouts, barely made any progress. Then whenever I became obsessed with working out and chasing world records, things of that nature, studying relentlessly, this was my passion. I knew this was what I wanted to do with my life, and I dedicated everything I had to it, and I got insane results. So when I started packing on muscle, getting stronger, I was more and more confident in my physique and in my body because I had these proven results. But whenever I got my first real job, I had to take all of the best principles that got me those results whenever I was dedicating my life to fitness and to looking better, feeling better, being healthy, and compact it so that way I could get the best results with the least amount of time and effort. I call this the 100-to-1 method. And this method is a method that I developed through these principles that I'm going to share with you that allowed me to stay lean, pack on muscle, boost my energy levels. I found a system how to do it while working 50 to 80 hours a week and traveling. The reason it's called the 100-to-1 method is because you're putting in 100% to be in the 1%, just like you would for your career, just like you would for your relationship. You're doing the same thing with your health and fitness. Now, does this mean you need to dedicate 100% to your life? No, but you need to dedicate 100% to the process and to the system, which takes 1 to 3 hours a week. Now, in these following steps, I'm going to outline the whole entire process from A to Z, the whole 100-to-1 method, A to Z of what I did to accomplish these results, so you can too if you're in the same circumstance as me or a similar circumstance. Now you're going to improve your health, boost your energy levels, your confidence, pack on muscle, shred fat while working these crazy hours, and you're still going to have time for your career, your family, and your social life. The 100-to-1 method, the 3 pillars: mindset, training, and nutrition and recovery. I'm going to explain these 3 principles that took me from losing my progress that I worked so hard for, getting brain fog, feeling groggy, having to slam energy drinks just to get my work done because my diet was causing inflammation to my body, to not needing caffeine anymore, to packing on muscle faster than I was when everything was dedicated to it, to staying lean, to having less inflammation in my body. So number 1, the mindset. Your body is going to follow your mind. I remember in sports they said, this guy's physically tough, but is he mentally tough? I don't even know what that means because it's all mental toughness. It's all mental fortitude. That's what's going to push you through the suffering. That's what's going to take you to the gym. That's what's going to take your body to eat the certain foods to supplement your goals. So it's all going to start in the mind. And I used to hear this and think it was so corny until I had an area where I had to improve my mindset in my life. Then it wasn't at all. Pillar number 2 is the 100-to-1 training. This is the system that's going to streamline what takes most people 10 to 20 hours a week in training to get top level results. You're going to do it in 1 to 3 hours because we're cutting out all of the fluff and only keeping what works. What the fluff does is actually ruins your recovery and makes it harder to recover. So it actually just makes it harder to even get results. But by keeping only the things that work, you're going to get even faster results. And finally, pillar number 3, the 100-to-1 nutrition and recovery. This is going to break down the nutrition, not just to shred body fat, not just to pack on muscle, but also to take care of your health, to boost your energy levels, to have sustained energy throughout the day, and help you sleep better. Now, let me show you how I optimize these pillars. I just gave you a little bit of a summary, but I had an abundance of failures and mistakes along the way to find out what training method works. I wish I could have just talked to me, 24, 25-year-old me, when I was 15, instead of making 10 years of mistakes and trial and error and reading studies, trying them, seeing what worked, and keeping it in my program. I wish I could have just watched this video and saved years of trial and error. Now, I am going to show you the streamlined system. It hasn't only helped myself, but a lot of clients in the same position, worse position, better position, just get crazy results. Let's break it down. Pillar number 1, 100-to-1 mindset. This is first because it all starts in the mind. Now, you're like, why didn't you pick a picture of yourself for this? This is the perfect picture I want. Not LeBron, not Michael Jordan. I picked those. It wasn't quite right. This guy right here, I picked an endurance runner. Because sure, you go to the gym, you work out hard, there's bursts of energy and then rest. That's sort of the sprint part of it. But the nutrition, the sleep, that's something that's all day. That's why I picked this endurance runner. His face, he's not super hyped up. He's not super jacked, but he's focused and calm. And that's the sort of state that you want to be in whenever you're getting results, a calm, focused state. Because when you're super amped up, you get burnt out quick. Because whenever you're super amped up, you get disappointed, you feel a huge crash. So your mind and your emotions are tied right in with each other. And typically, when people fall off of a diet or a training program, it's not related to logic, it's related to emotion. This happened, man. It was really hard on me. I stopped going to the gym. For some people, that motivates them to go to the gym. Or, it was a really tough day. Let me eat ice cream. That's why having a calm, focused, relaxed state is going to be the best for you. And that's why it's so important to have people in your corner to talk to have working on the same mission, because they're going to be feeling the same things. So whenever they're feeling the same things, but still on target with the same goal, it's going to keep you motivated because you're seeing they're in the same situation and doing it too. This is what took me from coping to building good habits and eventually an identity shift, right? So I would hear all the time from people that started making good money that, you know what, I had to give up fitness, right? I had to pick one or the other. And the truth is, you don't have to pick anything. You just need a good system, and that's just excuses. They're coping. And they never truly built habits. These guys, they were in the gym 3-6 months, here today, gone tomorrow. They never really built the habits, and their identity was doing it for somebody else. It was doing it for girls, girlfriends, somebody that broke their heart, something like that. It wasn't truly in their identity, and they weren't really building habits. They were just trying to prove somebody wrong. So instead of taking yourself from coping, which that might be with drugs, alcohol, could even be with money, which that in itself isn't bad, but can be used bad too, building those habits of, this is how I take care of myself, this is how I sleep, this is how I eat, this is how I train because I care about myself. Doing that long enough, being in the right environment long enough to where it's your identity, Instead of, oh man, I went to the gym, that's so great, you start missing the gym and you start feeling weird because that's not a part of your identity. Working through emotions. Like I was saying earlier, most of the days that you binge or you miss aren't logical, they're due to emotion. And finally, going back to the 100 to 1, putting in 100% to be in the 1%. This doesn't mean you have to dedicate 100% of your life to being in shape. We have jobs, we have careers, we have families. But that 1 to 3 hours that you are dedicated in the week, you're putting 100% in. And if you do that, because this system is so perfect, you're going to be in the 1% of health and fitness. Now, the 101 Mindset Part 2, the second slide is, I took the quote, "It's not good for a man to be alone." What does this mean? This picture right here summed it up perfectly for me, and that's the PayPal mafia. Whenever I started anything with work or business, I was like, oh, I'm going to make more money if I do it by myself. I can make more profit. The most wealthy people in the world usually don't even own 10% of the company because they have all of these people that are good at this, good at the other, good at this. So if you're in a group, if you're around people, just like a team, right here, that's why I picked the Eagles, right? You're not going to be a quarterback, linebacker, wide receiver. You're not going to be all these things at the highest level because different people bring different attributes to it. That's why I'm in a group with somebody that gets my mindset right, somebody that gets my motivation right, because I'm extremely educated on the training and nutrition process. So I can bring that value to them, but they really help me with my mindset and motivation and that brotherhood feeling that we're doing this together. PayPal Mafia. The reason I brought this up is because look at all these different companies that they built since they ventured off. Tesla, SpaceX, YouTube, LinkedIn, Yelp. And it's because they had this environment, this group, to where they were able to learn from each other. Their original mission was PayPal. But because they built these skills and shifted their identity from the habits that I was talking about earlier, eventually it led to an identity shift. And the skills that they built, they were able to build these companies separately. It's not good to be alone because there's only so much you can get with your own gifts. And yeah, the mental and emotional is just as important as the physical. There's going to be ups and downs, just like in football. 1 week your team loses, maybe 3 weeks in a row you lose, somebody gets an injury, something goes wrong. Having those people in your corner to lift you up, to fight, to catch momentum, to speak that life into you. That picture right here. I love it because the Eagles, I'm not an Eagle fan, but they won the Super Bowl this year. And there's something about being on a team and going after the same mission that puts a certain fire whenever something's bigger in yourself compared to just doing it by yourself. And like I'm saying, guys, it's dedication to the process. This process works. So if you dedicate to the process and you do it, you're going to change your health, your fitness, how you look, how you feel. And it's deeper than just the outside, because whenever you start giving up these things, the alcohol, the partying, this, that, the other, or your vice could be scrolling on your phone whenever you get home. And I'm not saying you have to cut all that stuff out, but you have to cut it out to a certain degree to get this process done. Whenever you start doing that, you're going to build the character traits of faith, because whenever you're working out, you don't see results right away. You don't gain 30 pounds of muscle in a week. You have the faith that it's going to work. You continue, you build more persistence, and you build habits, you build discipline along the way. You build suffering. When you're losing body fat, you're going to be hungry sometimes. So you build these character traits through the suffering. And as a result of that, those character traits you build, they're going to stay with you for a lifetime. Pillar number 2 is the training. This is something I'm probably the most proud of the results. And I'm not just saying this, you literally get the best results in 1 to 3 hours. If it's not like I'm just telling you to train like this because it's time efficient. It's time efficient, but it actually gets the best results. It's literally so insane. So, what is required for the 100 to 1 training program? 20 to 45 minute intense workout sessions 3 times a week. What intense means is training close to failure. That's what's going to stimulate the muscle. I was doing these short rest times, 15 to 30 reps. And these workouts were so hard because I was doing that pushing through the burn, but none of that stimulated the muscle growth. None of that told the body to get better. So I was doing all this work, wasting all this time, and all that was doing was adding fatigue, making my recovery harder. By taking away all the things that cause fatigue and only keeping what stimulates your body to get better allows you to get the best results possible. Less fatigue and only keeping what works, that's the name of the game. Now, we're using the most effective principles and eliminating all the fluff. Once you have that dialed in, the only thing we need to focus on now is form execution. So focusing week to week on different muscles, the chest, the back, shoulders, how to properly align your body. Because once you know how to take that muscle to failure and you have that in your mind, you've built that skill, now we can focus on executing your body mechanics properly to where you're hitting that muscle to a T, putting it in the best position. And it all comes down to lifting intense and exercise execution. That's what's going to transform your body. And the right exercises too, that's going to help improve your shoulders. And I'm not talking about the side like boulder shoulders. I'm talking about the health of your shoulders. It's going to help improve your posture. Lower back exercises like the hyperextensions, working the rotator cuff. That's not in a typical program, but it saved my posture, saved my shoulder pain, and it saved my lower back. Like I said, I came from having a herniated disc, then having to sit in the car for hours every day. Now I'm doing one step, slam dunks with two hands, and I'm below 6 foot. Don't tell the girls that though. Okay, pillar number 3, 100-to-1 nutrition and recovery. So, as far as nutrition goes, a lot of you guys still haven't heard of what macros are, so I'm going to go over what they are. And this isn't all of the program, but macros are protein, fat, and carbs, and a calorie intake. No matter what, if you eat less calories than you burn, you're going to lose weight, even if it's Twinkies, cookies, sugar, but you're going to feel terrible. That's why, and you're also not going to be packing on muscle. That's why it's important to have a moderate to high amount of protein. So you're aiming for 1 gram per pound of body weight or so. It depends on how much body fat you have. But not to get into all the details, when you hit the right amount of protein for your body and you're eating in a calorie deficit, you're going to be losing body fat, but still optimally packing on muscle. This doesn't necessarily mean you're healthy, though. For years, I would hit my macros, my protein, and my calories, and I was pushing crazy weight in the gym, packing on muscle, but I would get sick continuously and have to drink immense amounts of caffeine to have good energy levels. This is because my micronutrient intake wasn't great, and this is about having super nutrient-dense foods, the red meat, the berries, the fruits, things of that nature. And certain supplements you have to take as well, depending on your situation, like magnesium. I'm going to cover that here. Magnesium, creatine, vitamin D3, melatonin to help you fall asleep. So creatine, that's going to help boost your performance, put extra water in the muscle. So the muscle 70% water, that alone is just going to have you have a bigger, stronger muscle. Also going to help with focus too. Vitamin D3, typically people don't get enough sunlight, and vitamin D3 is great for hormone regulation. Having vitamin D3, you're going to also see your energy levels shoot through the roof, and your emotional state be much better. I've had low vitamin D levels, and I was depressed. As soon as I started supplementing it, I noticed a change, and even whenever I stop from time to time, I notice a change in my mood, and it brings me right back to taking it. Magnesium, this is going to be super important for muscle contractions to take that, and melatonin. Not everybody may need this, but it helps me fall asleep, which helps my recovery endpoint, because if you're sleeping at least 7 hours a night, it's going to be super beneficial for your recovery, but also your emotional state, so you aren't binging. You're going to have better workouts. You're going to feel so much better. The 100-to-1 method was designed to shred fat, pack on muscle, boost mental clarity, spike energy levels, and improve your posture without taking away from your career, family, and social life. Now, sure, did I achieve fast results? Absolutely. But here are just a few of my client transformations to show you as well. Here's Tony. In just 100 days, he shredded 20 pounds of fat, shot his energy levels up, and he was doing this working 50 plus hours a week. Here's my brother Mo working a full-time job with Apple. This is his 90-day transformation. Crazy. This is him at the same body weight. So he was shredding down fat and packing on muscle. And then this is, you can see what happens when you stick to this long term. This is my client Vlad right here. In a year and a half, looks like a whole entire different human being. And as you're probably not surprised, his confidence shot through the moon, because whenever you make a transformation like this with your body, you have to change internally as well. So huge confidence boost from him there. And you can see how these transformations would change their life. Now that you understand exactly how this process works, I have an offer for you. If you're a busy professional who's low on time, struggling to lose stubborn belly fat, low energy levels with brain fog and posture issues, shoulder pain, low back pain, feeling stiff, you're not confident in how you look with your shirt on, you can see your belly through your shirt. I'm not going to get too in detail, but you don't feel confident with a shirt on, or if you're at the pool or at a beach, you don't even want to take it off. And if you do, it's not even fun, because you don't like how you look and you don't want to be seen like that. Or you've worked out and you've dieted before and you didn't see the results you desired, or if you did get results, it wasn't sustainable. Now, if you're ready to pack on muscle, shred fat, feel charged, and have a sustainable method that you can carry for the rest of your life to boost your health and fitness and rapidly transcend yourself, build new habits, and shift a new identity that's permanent, I have an offer for you. My offer is, we're going to change your habits, shift your identity, boost and transform your mindset, shred fat off of your body, build muscle faster than you ever have before, boost your energy levels, eliminate brain fog, improve your posture, and take away pain in those places like the shoulders, lower back, and hips. And we'll do this all in just 120 days. And if not, we'll work with you until you do. To see if you qualify, book a call with us below. Someone on my team will reach out to you and explain the whole process, or myself personally. The call link is in the description. If you're still on the edge, book in a call, because even if you don't get in the program, you are going to leave the call with value that's going to change your life.